28-year-old man with a seemingly normal life lay in bed staring at the ceiling. He felt an emptiness that was hard to explain, as if his life was moving, but in circles. He had a job, friends, a stable routine. But every night, when he turned off the lights, the same question haunted him. Is this all there is? That day, while riding the subway, his finger paused over a video titled, "The 3 Habits That Will Change Your Life Forever." It was an impulse, but he watched the whole thing. And it wasn't just any video. It felt like someone was speaking directly to his soul. He finished it with his heart racing and eyes wide open. He felt a mix of excitement and urgency. He had to change now. Time was slipping away, and with it, his chance to build the life he had always dreamed of. He asked himself, what if this is the only moment I have the courage to begin? That same day, with a notebook in hand, he wrote, "Today begins my new life. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today." The decision was made. There was no turning back. Stay until the end, because this story won't only change Diego. It might change you too. The first 3 days were like a honeymoon. Diego woke up early, felt motivated, full of energy. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. But then, as if the universe were testing him, the challenges began. One rainy morning threw off his internal alarm. A co-worker mocked him. "So now you're some kind of productivity guru?" And worse, the voices in his head grew louder. "Do you really think you can change? You always give up. This won't be any different." Each thought was like a rock in his emotional backpack. He was deeply frustrated by not having answers. He felt torn. One part of him wanted to keep going, the other pulled him back toward comfort. He even thought about throwing the notebook away. What's the point if I'm going to fail anyway? But right then, in the middle of that mental storm, a spark lit up inside him. He remembered a line from, "You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent." And something solidified in his chest. Maybe he was full of doubt, but he also had something he had never felt so strongly before. Determination. That night, he looked in the mirror and whispered, "Maybe not today, but one day I'll prove to myself that I can." Diego had enthusiastically written down the 3 habits that would transform his life. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. Read 30 minutes every day. Exercise 5 times a week. The first few days, he felt unstoppable. He even shared his progress on social media, hoping to inspire others. But he had no idea what was coming. On day 4, he overslept. The alarm went off, and he turned it off without thinking. On day 5, the book still sat on the table, unopened. On day 6, the gym became just another excuse. Frustrated, he sat in front of his notebook and felt defeated. A desperate voice inside screamed, "Why do you always sabotage yourself? You're not cut out for this. You can't even stick to something this simple." Each mistake dragged him down even more. His self-esteem wavered. He wondered if he was doomed to always be the same version of himself. Was he born to be mediocre? But just when he was about to give up, he took a deep breath. He closed his eyes and allowed himself something different. A pause. Not to quit, but to reflect. He remembered that everyone makes mistakes, that the path is never straight. And with a trembling but determined hand, he wrote, "I'll fail 1,000 times if I have to, but this time I won't give up." The room was dark. The only light came from the street lamps slipping through the window. Diego, sitting on the edge of the bed, was breathing slowly. The silence hurt. His whole body was begging him to give up, to go back to the comfort of his old life. Sleeping in, avoiding pressure, expecting nothing of himself. What's the point of all this? He thought, a knot in his chest. He tried to change and failed. Again. He felt confused, unable to understand why. Even though he wanted to improve, everything seemed to work against him. His mind kept repeating, "You're wasting your time." And for a moment, he almost believed it. Going back to the way things were seemed tempting, comfortable, easy. But then, like a distant whisper, he remembered the day he decided to start. The fire he had felt, his desire for a better life. Was that life in the comfort zone? Or was it hiding just behind the pain and effort? In the middle of the silence, he slowly stood up, picked up his notebook, looked at it, and wrote just one sentence. "I will keep going, but this time I'll do it right." He didn't know how or what it would cost him. But what he did know was this: he wouldn't give up without a real fight. That was the beginning of a new mindset. The next morning, without guilt or self-deceit, Diego did something different. He reflected. He grabbed his notebook and wrote at the top, in big letters, "What did I learn this week?" And without judging himself, he was honest. He learned that trying to change everything at once was exhausting. That perfection was his enemy. That his mistakes weren't failures, they were clues. And that failing didn't mean stopping, it meant adjusting. In the middle of those lines written with sincerity, something lit up inside him. Hope. Maybe he hadn't wasted his time. Maybe in reality, he was closer than ever to finding his formula. If you've ever felt lost or stuck too, stay with me, because what's coming could be a turning point in your life. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs it. And most of all, don't go anywhere. Keep watching until the end, because the most powerful part is still to come. That same afternoon, he began researching habits and discovered a powerful truth. You don't need infinite willpower. You need smart systems, simple rules, small but consistent actions. Diego smiled for the first time in days. He felt motivation, yes, but also excitement. He had found something valuable, something that could help not just him, but anyone. And right there in his notebook, he wrote another sentence, almost like a promise. I'm going to build a life I don't need a vacation from. If you've ever felt lost too, stay until the end, because what's coming could truly be a turning point in your life. Like, subscribe, and share, because this is just getting started. Diego understood it now. True change doesn't come with explosions, it comes with steady, small steps. Inspired by what he had learned, he redesigned his habits. This time, he wouldn't try to impress anyone. He would do it for himself. First habit, instead of suddenly waking up at 5:30 a.m., he'd wake up 10 minutes earlier each week. Second habit, not 30 pages of reading, just 5, but every single day. Third habit, not an hour of exercise, just 10 minutes of movement. And just like that, something magical happened. Without the pressure of perfection, the habits started fitting into his life. This I can do, he'd say with excitement each morning. Every day felt like a small victory. Days passed, and Diego no longer felt like he was fighting against himself. He felt like he was growing. His self-esteem bloomed, his energy increased, and his motivation no longer depended on his mood. He had learned something that thousands of people never discover. Transformation isn't an act of force, it's a system of steps. And as he closed his notebook that night, he felt a new kind of pride. He wasn't the same anymore, not even close. Every step brought him closer to the best version of himself. And the best part, the most powerful discovery was still ahead. 2 months later, Diego looked at himself in the mirror, and for the first time, he didn't see someone struggling, he saw someone progressing. His face was more relaxed, his eyes brighter. He had energy in the mornings, clarity in his thoughts, and purpose in his actions. The small habits were no longer, they had become part of who he was. And the most incredible change wasn't external, but internal. His mind was no longer a battlefield. It had become a space where ideas, focus, and calmness blossomed. People at work noticed it. You look different, more confident. At home, they felt it too. More present, more peaceful, more grounded. Diego still couldn't quite believe it. It was amazing how something as simple as reading 5 pages or moving for 10 minutes could bring such deep change. It wasn't magic, it was consistency. And that filled him with a deep pride, but without arrogance. He knew this was only the beginning. One day, flipping through his old notebook, he saw that phrase again. I'm going to keep going, but this time I'll do it right. And he smiled because he was doing it. The biggest surprise wasn't his outer transformation. It was discovering that he always had within him what it took to change. All he needed was to believe, to act, and to keep going. That day, he understood something powerful. True success isn't measured by what you achieve, but by who you become in the process. An unexpected email landed in his inbox. We'd like to invite you to give a talk on habits and personal development. Diego froze. Him? Speaking in front of everyone? Nervousness immediately took over. Heart racing, cold hands, thoughts screaming, you're not ready. But something deeper inside whispered, this is your chance. Not just to share his story, but to spark something in others. That night, he barely slept. Anxiety visited him with every what if you freeze? What if they laugh at you? But in the morning, he took a deep breath, looked into the mirror, and said, you walked this journey. You're not an expert, you're living proof. And that's worth more than 1,000 theories. So, with his heart pounding, he stepped onto the stage. The lights blinded him for a moment. The mic trembled in his hands. But when he looked at the faces in front of him, something clicked. He remembered that first day. The darkness, the notebook, the small steps. And then he spoke. Not like a hero, but like a real human being. And that was his inner confirmation. He was ready. Every word was a gift. And every ear listening, a seed being planted. Discomfort transformed into power. And Diego understood. It wasn't about speaking perfectly. It was about speaking truthfully. The auditorium was packed. The air was electric with anticipation. Diego took a deep breath, closed his eyes for a second, and began. His voice trembled at first, but each sentence grew stronger. He spoke about his chaos, the comfort zone that gave him nothing, the hopelessness, the doubts, the days when everything felt pointless. And then he shared the changes, the simple habits, the deep transformations. He didn't boast, he bore witness, because that's what he was doing, offering living proof of what's possible. He spoke with honesty, with emotion, with soul. And when he said, if you feel lost too, just start with one step. Just one. Because one step can change everything. The silence was absolute. No one moved. Some had tears in their eyes. Others were furiously taking notes on their phones. And then applause. Loud. Long reel. Diego stepped down from a stage with a chest full of a satisfaction too big for his body. He had fulfilled a mission. He had touched hearts. That day wasn't just a personal win, it was a shared triumph. As he packed up his things, a young woman approached him with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you. I needed to hear that." In that moment, he knew. His story wasn't just his. It was a doorway for others. And that was the greatest reward of all. On his way home, after that unforgettable day, Diego sat in silence. He took out his notebook, the very one where he wrote down his first doubts, and began writing with a calmness he had never felt before. What used to scare me, today gives me life. Each word was a sincere reflection. He remembered his failures, his excuses, his broken beginnings. But he also recalled his small victories, his brave decisions, and the power of daily repetition. He learned that it's not about perfection, but about direction. That moving forward, even if it's slow, is better than waiting for the perfect moment. Each habit planted, each silent effort, had borne fruit. Diego felt a deep gratitude for not giving up. For that old him, who, with fear, chose to keep moving forward. For every person who believed in him, even when he didn't believe in himself. And now, he looked to the future with genuine optimism. Not because he knew what was coming, but because he had proven to himself that change is possible. He wrote one last sentence before closing the notebook. If I could do it, anyone can. That thought wasn't arrogant. It was generous. Because the transformation journey he had walked could be yours too. And the best part is, tomorrow could be the first day of your new story. Look, if you're watching this, maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you're trapped in empty routines, demotivated, with the sense that nothing ever changes. I've been there. And if there's one thing I can say with all my heart, it's this. You don't need to have